Hello everyone, I'm Kana, and the other teammate, Vera, is currently in LA. So today we would like to make a presentation on the comparative sense of beauty among East Asian countries. In particular, we will be focusing on the comparison between Korea and Japan. Recently, the flow of cultural exchange is quite intense worldwide, and among them, the interaction between East Asian cultures and Western cultures is closely related to our daily lives, which influences on our culture. One day, we happened to know one picture online, cited from Newswave, Asia Economical newspaper, with the three faces of Asian males and females. I know that this image became so famous in the SNS such as the Twitter or Facebook. Based on the picture and the concept of the picture, we conducted one survey. In our survey, we randomly selected the subjects of 20 Japanese, 20 Koreans, 20 Chinese, and 20 Americans. We showed the picture and asked them, which face do you think is the most attractive? Of course, each participant did never know the meanings of these images, but they picked their favorite faces from both 3 males and 3 females, respectively. Can you guess what these pictures are all about? These pictures are average faces of celebrities from the left Korea, center China, and right Japan. That means if most faces of the famous celebrities in each of the 3 countries are summed up in this way, making layers, then these figures will come out eventually. So we estimated that these faces indicate typical ideal faces that assumed in each country. From these results of the survey, we had 2 significant analyses, both about similarities and differences, respectively. First, regarding similarities. Seen from these faces from Korea, China, and Japan, we could find the critical characteristic that all the faces look quite similar to each other. While conducting the survey, many subjects are in confusion and asked that, aren't they the same people? They look so similar. We could come up with 2 possible reasons why these ideal faces look so similar in East Asian countries. First of all, we estimated that the sense of beauty in either Korea, China, or Japan is strongly influenced by Western countries. As these pictures show, our sense of beauty is dramatically influenced by Western-oriented values. Do you remember the 3 female faces in the picture? They all have Western-like face features, such as big eyes with double eyelid, clear-cut features, or high noses. Asian people are likely to think that Western-like faces are more attractive than traditional exotic Asian faces. Secondly, it can be said that people in East Asia tend to have narrower perspective of beauty than American people, because all Korea, China, and Japan are racially homogeneous countries. On the contrary, as for the United States, Americans have a more diverse sense of beauty, because US is a more multiracial country. For them, in such diverse conditions, it is technically or nearly impossible to have homogenized or unified ideal faces. It might indicate that the sense of beauty is different from race to race based on ethnicity. Nevertheless, the sense of beauty among Asian countries are slightly different from each other. Today, we would like to focus on the comparison of female faces between Korea and Japan. From the analogy and outcome of the survey, based on this picture, we reached two significant differences. One prominent outcome from this survey is that 100% of Korean people selected Korean female faces. On the contrary, Japanese and Chinese subjects selected faces from all the countries. This means that Korean people are more likely to have narrow and specific perspectives of beauty. This might explain one of the reasons of prevailing plastic surgery in Korea, even more than in Japan. Many subjects from other countries recognized the Korean female as Korean. When we ask subjects to tell which faces are from which countries, after letting them know the meanings of the pictures, many of these subjects first recognized the leftist Korean face as Korean. To sum up, the range of sense of beauty is the broadest in the United States and narrowest in Korea, and Japan might be located as middle. Secondly, what we value was slightly different between Korea and Japan. For example, Japanese tend to put more value on a cheerful atmosphere, while Korean people on perfection on the face like a doll. While conducting the survey, we asked the reason why they chose the particular person, and also why they didn't choose other faces. Then Japanese people, especially Japanese boys, who picked Japanese female, answered that they liked her because she seems to be more active and cheerful with a smile. On the contrary, some Japanese subjects answered that Korean female looks like less fortunate comparing to Japanese one. However, Korean never mentioned about woman's facial expression, but they tend to seek more elaborated and refined faces. Thus, Japanese people put more emphasis on the positive atmosphere the people have, while Korean value on the physical perfection of a face itself. Now, in discussing the topic of globalization and cultural exchange, we cannot deny the crucial fact that Korean culture is dramatically exported to Japan. According to our analysis, this could influence on the norm of what is attractive in Japan. Many Japanese people used to only know about Japanese criterion, but the active import of Korean cultures, such as movies, K-pop stars, and TV dramas, gave brand new perspectives to Japanese. In this way, our sense of beauty, that is an important part of our norms, are greatly affected by both international outside factors and national domestic values. As we mentioned before, briefly speaking, globalization formed a norm in which Western faces are preferred than traditional Asian faces. However, in such broad wave of homogenization, each country still has specific values of beauty. This caused the subtle differences between Korea and Japan regarding their senses of beauty. That sense of beauty has both dependent and independent aspects. We assume that the increasing impact of globalization will keep influencing in forming our cultural norms, such as the sense of beauty, in the future. So we made a presentation on the comparative sense of beauty. Thank you for listening.